Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. Today, I want to take a little bit of a look at our GUI framework. At some point, we wrote one because we feel the need to re-implement everything from scratch. And this is what we got. It's not so bad, right? We got, pictures we can render, and you can like drag them around maybe if you wanted to like do a drag and drop on something. We got text entry. We got a button, and when you click the button, things can happen. You got a checkbox. Where we can click on the label, we can click on the checkbox, we can draw a little frame around it. We're trying to like get examples of all the widgets in. So maybe something that doesn't make sense, like framing the checkbox, is like a thing that we might do. We got little draggers, right? So here's like an I-32 dragger that lets us, for like value entry. Look, a little histogram, wowzer, combo box, wow, create color picker, exciting. We got like some layout stuff, a memory, like a little like memory usage over time graph widget, maybe a widget that can change every once in a while. This is not changing text, but this is like selecting one of many widgets, and like a custom widget implementation here. All right, so we've got something. Wowzers. And today what I want to look at is text entry fucking blows. It's terrible. We can type letters, sure, but like, if I try to like hold backspace, nothing happens. If I hit Control A to try to like clear a text box like I would in Firefox, right? If I like type something here, hit Control A, backspace, that doesn't work. If I try to like click somewhere and then insert text there, that doesn't work. If I try to like select with my mouse, that doesn't work, right? It sucks. There's lots of problems. So I think what I want to do is I just want to like use the text box a little bit. And I've used the text box a little bit, written down things that like annoy me in order of how much, of which one I hit first. And I think we should just try to fix these things. Wow, we're getting closer to fixing the blinds, but fix the text widget first. Yes, let's go. Okay, so I kind of like refactored the entire GUI framework the other day. Look at this mega commit. Wowzer, git log stat. Look at this fucking 7,000 deletion, 4,000 insertion change. I guess 5 and 8 more like. Wowzer. But kind of the way it works, hand wavy, is we have like layouts. Layouts can kind of like hold many widget interfaces. I know yesterday I just published a video or the day before where I was like, interfaces bad. But because of the way like layouts work, it's kind of hard to, you kind of like are forced to do two-stage layout because, how do you say this? Like you kind of need to know like the size of the widget before you know where to place it. Like you need to know the size of all widgets before you know where to place any of them, kind of. Like if you're trying to like center widgets vertically in like in a row or something, you need to know the size of every widget in the row. So it's just kind of easier if we have an interface that has like stage 1 and stage 2, where this is like calculate your size, and this is like do anything that requires specific positioning. Anyways, so we have like this widget interface, and widgets support, I think it's like input, render, and update is kind of like their shape. The new kind of way we implement these is kind of like the Zig IO interface style widget. So like if I go to the text box is like a concrete widget that has a widget field in him. And this field has like the V table for this guy as well as like a couple attributes maybe, right? Yeah. So basically then when we want to like interface with these widgets, what happens is we store like an event ID similar to like our IO subsystem, where when something interesting happens, we push the event onto the queue, and then like the caller of this guy who like initialized the text box, he will maybe say, hey, when I see text box change, I can like do something with that text. What we choose to do in our example is we like mirror that text into a label. Right? So when I go in here and I go like ASDF, that thing is like mirrored down below, right? So we can choose to do whatever we want with that thing, but this is what we choose to do in the example. Yeah, and I think that's kind of all the background. I don't really remember how the text box works, so we can kind of rediscover that together. I assume, well, I remember a little bit. I lied a little bit, but yeah, okay. So the text box, I guess, he holds like a label inside him, where a label is basically a guy who renders text with our like custom font renderer, also made from scratch. The text renderer, he like lays out the text kind of like he takes each letter and he like finds their bounding box and places a like reference into some texture atlas, right? So you're gonna have like a bunch of letters in some big picture over here. And what we do is we like sample from here and then copy paste like those coordinates over here, kind of, and we have like this kind of like layout structure, we call it, right? Where we kind of have like these references into these guys, but like offset, kind of hand wavy. This lives on GPU. The texture lives on GPU, but the mapping lives both on GPU and CPU, I think. How haven't you fixed your voice yet? I think it's broken again. I just kept yelling. Anyways, it's something like that. Something like that. Let's take a look. Let's try to fix holding backspace. Let's try to fix that. Figure out where that comes from. Millennial, thank you for the prime. Much appreciated. So we on input. So this input is registered on the vtable. We get input state passed in, which has a bunch of stuff like, was the mouse pressed this frame? And where was it pressed? Have we scrolled this frame? And I guess key tracker is probably the thing we're looking at. We check if the widget's focused. If they click on our widget, we set focus. We say, okay, you are definitely focused now. Okay. I'm pretty sure I heard the exact moment it broke this time. It was during a particularly enthusiastic intro, yo. Yo! Oh, yeah, so we look over all keys that were pressed this frame, and if we see a backspace, we say, okay. So we say remove some text. Okay, so I think if I hold the letter A down, it does repeat, but if I hold the backspace key down, it doesn't. And that kind of came as a fix by mistake the other day when we were also trying to fix the entry of like symbols, like, you know, all of these guys. I believe what we did was we used GLFW as our like windowing system. And I think that we said, hey, GLFW, could you please register a character callback for text entry? We also have a key callback, which we use for everything, for things that are not characters. But for characters, we use this guy. So I assume what's happening is GLFW has some sort of like repeat rule. And I remember seeing like on some Linux systems that repeat rule is kind of defined by the system. Like it might be a setting in my input settings in KDE or something like that. So I kind of, before just being like, okay, we'll do a like repeat after some time, I kind of want to look to see how GLFW decides to recall this guy. Because that will give us a clue probably. So maybe let's go check the GLFW source code. So this is called set car callback. Hello? Why is that not something that I can search for? Is my Vim just broken? Because it's clearly in there, right? Oh, but it's only in build. Oh, no, set, oh, set is uppercase. I see. I see. Okay, so this guy, when we call him, can we get Clang in here so that I have like jump to definition stuff? Eliante is posting that the Wayland protocol has repeat information assigned. Nice. Nice. Okay, this guy says he assigns this callback. When does he call him? He calls them on GLFW input char. Okay. Who in Wayland is called here, input text. Okay. Right. Okay, so here he says key repeat timer file descriptor. Interesting. So this is defined by Wayland. Okay, so it almost looks like there's some file descriptor that this guy's polling, and he doesn't even actually know, like GLFW doesn't necessarily know what the timer is. Maybe when he creates this thing, like, where does this come from? Key repeat timer file descriptor. Oh, okay, wait. He does maybe have this. Where does he set the timeout? Because here, this is null. Timer here. Oh, here is where he sets it. So when the key goes down, he initializes a timer that will presumably fire and call this again. What happens when he sees the timer FD come in? Right, so this is just on handle events. He just inputs the key again. Okay. And then does he rearm the timer? I can't remember. Yeah, so he's not setting like an interval timer. Oh, he is. He's setting an interval timer here. Ah, okay. So he sets the he initializes this one time. He sets the like delay and then the interval, sets the timer up, and then later triggers it once, triggers like the key input every time the timer fires. So then the question is this key repeat rate and key repeat delay, are these things that are exposed to me as a consumer of GLFW, or do I have to go behind his back to get this information, right? Can we, like, key repeat delay, where does this get like exposed anywhere? Keyboard handle repeat info. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like this thing is only used as like I set this guy when I get repeat info from Wayland, and I use this guy here. So it doesn't look like it's exposed unless... Yeah, it's looking a little sketchy. It's looking a little sketchy. It's looking like we might need to ask Wayland ourselves. Unless, I mean, let's Google this as well. GLFW key repeat delay API. There is GLFW repeat. Is this what this guy, what is that? GLFW repeat. Okay. Oh, okay. So maybe this repeat event is emitted for us in the key callback as well, and we just aren't using it. Because here, we're looking for action GLFW press and release, but maybe there's a repeat gets exposed here in the key callback. Yeah, I see. I see. Nice. Nice. Okay, so it is exposed to us. Beautiful. So now the question is, what do we do? Because right now we have everything as a key down, key up notification. I guess we probably do a repeat as well. You know, there's something a little fucked here, by the way. Like this change where we said in the character callback that, or when we're doing text input, that we use the character callback instead. Like, what if somebody wants to do like what if I'm trying to like do like a game where I hold down W to move forward? Our character callback only ever emits like uh how do I say this? Like a down up event immediately, which is not necessarily true. So we're gonna have to come back for that. I'm gonna come back for that later. Instead, let's do a maybe we will push into the queue like a way for you to notice a repetition versus down up. I kind of like that. Did I miss the softball project completion? No, we just haven't completed it. Don't worry. There's lots more to do there. Lots more to do there. Okay, so can we look for key repeat? Oh, yeah. Yeah, something like this. And then I guess if it fails, log error failed to write key repeat. I guess this is what we do here. This is what we do around these parts. Okay, so now in our UI, where is this? This is input state push input. If we see key repeat, I guess it looks like the pattern here is we do one of these. It looks like we have held keys and pressed this frame. Interesting. So probably, I mean, why is this even like this? Because some people are going to be looking for, if this is, some people are going to be looking for like a key event versus a like key state, I guess is the idea here. So I guess if we see push repeat, it's probably fair to put that in press this frame, but then not update the held key state, because this was already be handled by the down up. That seems kind of reasonable. That seems kind of reasonable. Yeah, let's fucking run it that way. Was a lib on top of a lib? Kind of. I mean, GLFW will eventually be replaced. This is like, we have a GUI library that's independent of the windowing system. So like, we're kind of doing a translation here from the window system to the GUI framework. Because like, technically this GUI framework can run in any OpenGL window, where the window system is like a specific thing. You know what I mean? That seems kind of reasonable. Fix me. Should we repeat previous control state? Like, probably, right? We should probably, and is that tracked? No. But what is key repeat? Maybe it should be a key event then. And then where does that come from? I guess we just do this as well. I guess. I don't fucking know, man. What is happening? There we go. All right, let's see how that works. Nice. Okay. Yeah, that seems to be working. Yeah, okay, sure. I guess that works. Feels pretty good. And then does that work for left arrow and right arrow too? Yeah, the cursor is like impossible to see, by the way. That's got to get fixed. Let's do that. Cursor invisible. I think it's because I'm using like, I think the cursor should just be the same color as the text, right? Right? So in render, maybe we render a cursor somewhere. Cursor color. Cursor color is defined. Can we just do white? Yeah, I mean, that's way easier to see, right? Way easier. Oh my god, beautiful. I feel like sometimes it's getting eaten, by the way. I don't know, like, what's making... Yeah, there. There, the key event is, like, it stopped. Like, I'm going hold right, hold left, hold right, and now it's not working. Cursor usually blinks. True. Okay, so the question is, why is that repeat event not firing sometimes? Is that a bug on my end, or is that a bug in the windowing system? Got key callback. Let's just see if this is firing in that state. Okay. So I'm just trying. Oh fuck. We need to increment a counter just so that I can see changing happen underneath. Something like this. Just so I can see change in the terminal. Is it when you do it too early? I did try to test that. It didn't seem like it to me. Okay, so there. Okay, well, we'll put lift, right. Lift, left. Lift, right. Lift, left. Lift, right. Maybe it's if I get them in the same frame. Ooh, no, okay, here. If I hold right, then hold left, then release right, it stops moving left. So it's probably something related to that. And can I check behavior in Firefox? So the same thing, hold right, release left. Hold left, hold right, release left. It resets almost. Hold left, hold right, release right. Hold left is still held down, nothing's happening. So, but if I hold left, hold right, release left, it like resets the timer on the right key press, which is interesting. Does that happen for me in GLFW? Hold left, hold right, release left. No, interesting. So it looks like maybe it's your keyboard that can't do both left and right at the same time. No, my keyboard can. I know for a fact that it can. So it's not that. It's well, maybe we should double check that. You're right. It's worth checking. It is worth checking. I'm pretty sure it can, but it's worth checking. Linux, like keyboard button test. Or is there even just like online keyboard button test? Is that like a thing I can do? Yeah, right. Both down, right, left, up, up. Right. It can detect the bug. It can detect all four. So it's not that. I think it's that GLFW feels like it is like any key release event is stopping the repeat event of another key. That's how it feels to me. Which kind of makes sense, right? They have a single timer here. In like the Wayland bindings we saw. And when a key gets pressed, they like set the timer and the scan code, right? So like from the GLFW implementation, by pressing a new button, you have like completely removed the other button. You know what I mean? Like holding right then left, the left event overrides the right event, and then the right event gets lost. So maybe that's just a thing that we have to live with if we use GLFW. And if we ever fix our Windows system to use our custom Wayland client that we've been writing, then that's when we like fix this. And until then, we just have to know that if you basically get the release event, if you switch too fast, the repeat won't work, which is like a little odd. I wonder if you can simulate a key down. It makes sense. It's normal that only the last press event is repeated, kind of, but Firefox handles it the way I would expect, right? So I hold right. So here, what Firefox is doing is like kind of how I would expect it, more so. So like I hold left, hold right, release left, then the hold right triggers again. So it could be that like Firefox is like noticing this shitty edge case. And like if a key is held down but not repeated, it's like re-triggering it because it does feel like if I rapidly switch back and forth, this is like a state that I can very easily accidentally end up in. You know what I mean? See, it feels like GFW only setting repeat scan code on press not release is what it is. But that's I think what they're doing. Right? Like here they are setting the timer on the press action. I think you're doing it incorrectly. Press left, press right. Okay. Press left, press right, release right. Left is not, it doesn't move left. That's true. I agree with that. But if I do press left, press right, release left, on Firefox, it continues to move right. Wait, so press left, press right, release left. Oh no, you're right. You're right. I see what you're saying, that like what I've described here does not match what I've said there. It's that when I release a key, it clears the event no matter what key it was, maybe. Right? So when we see like when does this timer get cleared? It's going to be another call to timer FD set time here, right? 0 null? No. Yeah, it's more like here. Where this... Oh. It's here, the timer is set to 0. We're holding right, and we release left. So this gets skipped, but this still gets hit. Right? So that's the problem here, is that they're like, what I would want to see here is like if key repeat scan code is equal to scan code, then we clear the timer, right? That would be my argument, right? Is that you should only clear the timer if this is a timer for the fucking key that we're pressing, right? I bet you if we did that, it would fix it. Can we compile our own GLFW? I'm sure we've done this before. Try it. Yeah. I think that's worth doing. I don't really know how easy it will be to get this to like link the right GLFW and stuff. So give me a second. CD build. Make. So I guess in this environment, let's get GLFW out of here. That's another detour. Let's fucking go, baby. I guess at some point we fixed this and started moving on to sometime before now, like alternating repetition. Right? So I assume now if I build here, he's gonna be like, yo, I can't find GLFW. But now we can kind of go, well, go look over here, bitch. Where is this? Install lib64, probably. Yep. But then, how do I make him actually search this? How do I make him search these paths? Build it statically so you don't need SO. Yeah, maybe. Fuck. How do I inject search paths into Zig's compilation? He's searching all these paths. So I guess we look for an environment and grep Wayland 124. Whoever the fuck is writing this. Nix LD flags. Nix C flags compile. Oh, I think that there is special handling of the Nix stuff in there. We can check. If we do Nix LD flags equals Nix LD flags and then -L like home just as a test here. Yeah, okay, cool. Home, work, what was it? GFW build, install lib64. Nice. Nice. Failed to load libwayland client. God damn it. Oh, because I overwrote it. We need LD library path to keep the old LD library path. Dude, fuck my life. God damn it. Failed to load libxkb common. My life is so hard. Why did I do this to myself? Why did I do this to myself? God damn it, dude. So now he's looking for all sorts of runtime libraries that before probably the Nix package like patched. Packages lib gl lib. Like, how do I say this? Nix probably patched its version of GLFW so that it like fix all of these dynamic path resolution things. There we go. But you know, we didn't fix it. We didn't fix it in our build. Okay, did I make that change? Because I think that we're using our OpenGL, our GLFW now. So if scan code is equal to key repeat scan code, then we clear the timer. Make install. Does Nix have like a Nix download source so you can layer your patches on top of theirs? They do like a bunch of patches like post build in their Nix scripts. So it's like a pain in the ass. So I just don't really want to. You know what I mean? Okay, hold left, hold right, release. Oh, sorry. Hold left, hold right, release left. Yeah. So now it's doing what I would expect. So hold left, hold right, release left. It keeps moving to the right. You complete the VoIP thing? Nope. Well, we're still working on it. Still working on it. It's one of those ones where I honestly get like stressed. This is really like pathetic, but I'll be honest. I'll be honest for a second. So like, if I don't feel like I have a good plan for what I'm going to do on stream, I get like very stressed, like unreasonably so, where like I can't sleep. Like it's like a problem. But so like the VoIP client, when I am like the state that we are in right now, where like I'm trying to generate the invite response or something, right? Like I know that I can accomplish that, but I get stressed out about the idea of being able to accomplish the next steps on stream in a way that is like presentable. You know what I mean? And so I'm honestly stalling right now. Doing this text box fixes is like a thing that needs to be done. And it's like a thing that I know I can get done and I know how to present. Like I know that like I'm confident in my ability to do the pieces that I want to do on camera. But the VoIP client next steps is like I feel less prepared to do so. So it's like it's we are using this as an excuse to not do that. Which is just something I have to figure out. Can we see the text widget? It's right here. But anyways, that's the state right now. So don't worry. I haven't made any progress. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So the question is now, we know why this like key alternating repetition thing is like a problem, right? GLFW is not correctly representing its state, right? Or I shouldn't say it correctly. It's like it's allowing any key release to clear a timer. So the question is, without patching GLFW, is there a thing that we can do to fix this? We've root caused the bug, but this is not like our code, right? So if there is like a way for us to detect that case and inject a key down event again, maybe that's the play, right? Like, I mean, it seems pretty unlikely. Seems pretty unlikely based off this. Because this timer is only called through this like Wayland client callback. So you would have to like trick lib Wayland into re-emitting this event. I have a question. You aren't using AI. What's your point of view? Oh, I'll be honest about this one too. So I usually don't use it because it's dog shit. But for the first time, Claude did something useful for me. I was very impressed. In the GUI framework refactor, I gave him like a couple examples of how I wanted to change the widgets, and then was like, "Can you do the next one?" And it costs like 30 cents to re-implement the checkbox widget in the new style, and he like did it right. Now, then I went back and realized that he's like deleting a bunch of comments and renaming variables for no reason and doing all sorts of stuff. It was not 30 cents. It was 30. Well, it was 30 cents for me. It cost me 30 cents. So I will say that my opinion may change in the near future because every other time I've used it, it's been like absolute fucking dog shit. Now it seems like maybe it could do simple tasks the last time I tried it. But I mean, in reality, if I went like I then tried to use them to do like a bunch more, and it was like $40 to do the whole thing, and like not really the way I want to do it, and so I still have to go through and review every line of code like manually, and then it's like in reality, was it worth $40? Probably not. Like I probably could have done it like faster for free. So like still not 100% there, but we're getting closer. It's getting closer. But yeah, I mean, so I think that there are also ethical concerns, right? I don't like the idea that they've stolen all of humanity's work and then are taking credit for it in some way, right? But like, I don't have to address my concerns with those until it's good. You know what I mean? Like, until it works at all. So AI lore plays, that's what I said. Yeah, that's what I said and what I meant. All right. So I suspect that we just have to put up with this bug. Or like maybe this is like a GLFW patch, because I don't really see a way skimming this where this is fixable. So we can I think it's fine to put this patch into like my environment or something, but like then I'll forget that it's a problem. So let's just say that this is a known problem, like root caused fix lives outside me. So maybe I'll file like a fix for this later. We know what it is. We know what it is. All right. What's next then? I guess it's let's restore our environment to use the proper system GLW. We'll just live with this bug. All right. All right, we're back. For the most part, this is fine. Okay. And then can we also remove that got key callback log? Okay. Perfect. Is it a GLFW bug? I think so. I don't know, bug maybe is like a strong word, but it's GLFW's fault. Let's say that. All right. Let's do some mouse selection now. Or I guess let's do mouse navigation first. Then mouse selection can come next. Right? So if I have some text in the box, I want to be able to click over here on the letter A and have the cursor jump over there. So how do we do that? Text box widget. Probably on input somewhere. We probably want to check like if the mouse was pressed, it goes in here. We probably want to like find like we probably want to like set the cursor pause. If maybe like cursor text hit, maybe based off of the like mouse position. Then we got like the index and we set the like cursor position to that index, maybe, and then we just have to implement like cursor text hit. And this is probably something that takes in the whole widget. And then like pause is going to be whatever the fuck input state mouse pause was. It's probably like GUI input state mouse position. There we go. One of these guys. And he's going to return maybe something. Okay. So what are we doing here? We have the layout of all of the glyph locations in this label. So these guys are saying what the character is and where he is in pixel space, X and Y's. So he's got like a little bounding box. So we probably, I think that this whole label is offset too, right? Because like as the content scrolls, oopsies. Like if I have too much text in here, right? Like we allow scrolling of the text box in some way, right? So I think that there's some sort of like offset of this guy. Yeah, we have left offset here. So this is like where to render the left of the label. Is it relative to its default position in the box? Right. So this is like relative to default pause. So if this is 0, then it just renders like directly inside, like on the left edge probably. So we probably want to add, okay. Where is this used? So when we render, I guess is probably where we can check this. We have text bounds, which comes from text pixel bounds, which comes from text left. Okay, here we go. So this is given where our widget is, given the bounds of the entire text box, tell us where the left edge of the text is, right? So here we see we have some padding followed by left offset. Okay, cool. Easy. Okay, so we probably want that. That's probably important. Left pause pixel. And so that means that we kind of need the widget bounds for this thing. The whole, like the total bounds of our widget. So this is, what was it? It was text left. Which takes in self style. No, shared style maybe. Yeah, there we go. And he takes in left label, left offset, and widget bounds. Okay. So then, I guess our glyph locations now, I assume that these are relative to just like the left edge of the widget or something. So can we just double check here that like if we log the left pixel as well as the left edge of the first character, these should be almost like very close to each other at least. If I understand what we're looking at. Yeah, let's do this. So let's just make sure that we understand our data. Let's just make sure. Okay. Oops, he doesn't like that. Oh, we need to check that there's actually, if, the label, like if what, self, label, glyph locations, len is greater than 0, or equals 0, return null. Okay, so, oops. Oops, where's my new line? Okay, so he is logging 16 as like the start of the text, which makes sense, right? That looks about like 16 pixels. But then the one is where this guy thinks he is. So we probably are missing a piece here. We are missing a piece. I guess maybe we need to like subtract the left position from the mouse or something. So we're gonna like say like mouse rel text. And that's kind of what we're looking for. Wait a second. Why is this an I30? Oh, I32, that makes sense, I guess. Int from float. I think that the mouse position is in floating point for some reason. Oopsies, as I32. Okay. So if I click here, on the very left edge of the A, we see the match. We see a match there, which is good, right? If I click here, we're like left of the A until here, we're in the A. And then can we then I guess search for, we want to like binary search the positions probably to find which character we hit. Oh shit. Penguin Operator is like, our house has no electricity because we're in a fucking blast zone in war. That sucks. Sorry, dude. I don't know what to say. This is a programming stream, but that sucks. I'm sorry, man. Hope you're okay. Hope you're okay. Okay. What do we do here? I think there's probably some sort of binary search in the Zig standard library, surely. Surely. I know we can write one, but maybe I don't have to. Because I'm assuming, maybe this is a bad assumption, but I'm assuming that my text is, the text X locations are probably sorted. Right? Surely. So it's our binary search. Okay. And what are we searching? He needs us to have an array of items we don't really have. Is there a version of this thing that doesn't take an array? No. Can I really not search? I feel like we've done this before. I mean, I guess we can just make it a slice for now. Yeah, I mean, we can just do that. That's fine. I mean, I'd rather not, though. Fine. Fine. What is it? We did this like yesterday. This is going to be a stud util runtime segmented list of whatever the fuck. I'm just gonna write any type because I'm lazy. And we'll say locks, and then we'll just put a fix me here. Like, this needs to live somewhere else. But what is it? You have like left is 0, right is lock size, len probably, and then it's like if you, while true, you do something, you probably return null at the end. You like look halfway between your left and right cursors. And then you say what if locks get index is greater than, less than. I guess we're searching for a position. So if my X position is less than this, we say right is index. Else if X pos is greater than that index, I guess maybe we cache the value because this is a cheap lookup, but not like free. So maybe like this. Left equals index plus 1, I think. Then else we found it. And then we have our exit conditions, which were like if left equals right, return 0 or return null. And if left equals right, -1. I believe this is what we did last time. And I think that worked. I think. So then what can we do? Search glyph locks. We have glyph locations here. We have the mouse relative to the text. And I guess we're not really looking, it's not like a binary search exactly. We're looking for like lower bound almost, right? We're looking for like the first thing that is on the left, right? We're not going to get an exact hit, right? So I guess this is, we never return null. We just break, probably. And we just return whatever we found. Probably. Probably something like this. If he finds this thing, can we print the thing we found? Okay, what doesn't he like? What doesn't he like? Car index, maybe. Oh, right. This should be pixel F X1 or something. Okay. Okay. Can we print which character we found? Can we print which character we found? Glyph lock. There we go. Something like this. Something like this. So A, D. Oh, that's not good. We're missing the S's. Yeah, so this lower bound search isn't working correctly. Because I was thinking like an actual binary search, which is not exactly what I want. So what is our like exit condition here? It's like I have values of left and right in each of these, right? So I guess this is just, it's more like, instead of doing val is equal to this thing, we want to say like, is hit is if like the x position is greater than the left, greater than or equal to the left edge, or, yeah, and is less than or equal to the right edge. So can we do like glyph bounds is this, and then, yeah, I guess we'll say like, we can do like smaller than right is if x pause is less than or equal to the right side. Yes. And then larger than left is if we are greater than or equal to the left side. Then we say is hit is that it is both. Right? Then we check if we are a hit, we return the index. Else if smaller than right, then we have to move to the left. Else if larger than left. And then I think the other condition is unreachable, right? I think. And then what is our like exit here? I guess it's null. Okay. So here I've clicked the S, here I've clicked the A, nothing, nothing. Here we click A, S, F, D, A, S, D. That feels kind of right. Is backseat okay? It's not prohibited by laws or by stream tag. Yes, but I may get annoyed. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those like, I'm not like super against it, but also like I'm free to ignore you, right? You're free to type what you want, and I am free to ignore you or even ban you if I find you really annoying. You know what I mean? So like, you know, sometimes I'll just yell no cheating. I banned Grant. I mean, I only timed him out. He never came back after. But I think I really pissed him off. But to be fair, he was really pissing me off. So, you know, sometimes that's how it goes. Okay, so it seems like this is working. Which means This should just work now? Okay, promising. You might argue that if I click here, like if I click on the right side of the D, it should kind of like drift that way. You know what I mean? Right? Like it's weird that it only triggers once I get to the F there. So I asked, I don't want to get mad. I mean, generally, you should be able to tell if I'm getting annoyed. And also, like, if you're being like nice and helpful and like, you know, the only time I like insta ban people is if they're like just like first time chatting and saying something racist. You know what I mean? Like, usually there'll be some warnings along the way. So don't worry too much about it. Rage fitting is also okay, so he likes it sometimes. Whoa, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay, so I guess what we should do now is now that we've found which character we hit, I guess we can just check if like we can say maybe this is cursor text hit, and he's gonna give us the index of the curse that of the value hit. So then we can say self label glyph locations get, and we have this index. And we can just say like if input state mouse pause x is greater than bounds, like bounds cx is gonna be like bounds this plus bounds this, like left plus right over 2. If we are greater than the center in x, then we increase the cursor position. You know, something like that. Something like that. And then this needs to be div trunk, because signed division, you know, he doesn't like, he gets a little upset. What's bad? What's the problem here? Oh, this is a fucking floating point. God damn it. Fix me, ew, nasty cat. Like, I guess what we can do is do like mouse x pause is an I32 float from, or int from float as input state mouse pause x. There we go. That solves some of this, and we just use that everywhere probably. And then we should probably also check, there's nothing here checking that we're like clicking inside the box. Oh, here. So maybe it's like if the input bounds does not contain this, get the fuck out of here. And then we just set focus to true unconditionally. And then we use mouse X pause everywhere. I think that's fine. All right. That kind of fixes a bunch of our casting problems, makes this a little nicer to read. And let's take a little peek. Click here. Huh. That doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. Can we look at mouse mouse CX like this? Oh, fuck. This this is wrong. This is obviously wrong. It's because we have to offset according to where the label is. So can we return here? Text hit. Can we return like the adjusted bounding box of the character, maybe. I think that's reasonable. And then the index. There we go. Because the label, the glyph location is relative to the side of the label. So now we return car bbox is left of, I guess we have to like get the glyph lock is glyph label, glyph locations, get car index, boom. Then we're looking at like pixel x1 plus left pause pixel. Yeah. And then where are we putting the like, we're missing like the vertical adjustment too. So how does that work? Text inputs are minimalist errors. Deep thoughts with the deep is a funny response to that. Mr. Streamer thinks we forgot about the window blinds. Are they actually broken? They're still broken. They're still broken. They'll get fixed eventually. One day. One day we'll be back. If I wasn't so paranoid, dude, it's all because my friend, I sent him a photo of my apartment the last time I moved somewhere from like inside. I was just like, look at this new place. And he sent me back on the map where it was based off of like a corner of a building that he could see across the lane through the window. And I'm like, okay, like that's crazy. That's fucking insane. You have a mental thing going on. We love you, but that's a lot. Right? So now I'm like, nobody gets to look at my window ever again. Okay, what are we doing here? I guess like we don't really need the Y position, so we just shouldn't return that. So if we just do this instead, then I don't have to think about that. An easy fix. An easy fucking fix. GeoGuessr nerds or something else? Yeah. He plays like GeoGuessr Vancouver, no moving, no pan, no turning the camera, and then gets 100%. And we're like, okay, that's insane. That's cool, I guess. It's also crazy. It's very crazy. Like, you have spent too much time on this. Okay, so we're looking at hit left, hit right, and why is he not mad? Like, why is he mad? I don't know. Expected 2 arguments. Oh yeah, this is a plus, you dumb fucking idiot. There we go. All right, does this work now? That feels nicer. It's crazy. It's interesting that the right edge. Ugh. So there's a problem here where the right edge of the character includes the space. Like, but it includes the space for the next character. It's kind of like almost like a bug in the text renderer where it should be not including that space. So I'm just gonna put that as like a fix me for later. But like cursor, like how do I say this? Glyph should not contain glyph layout should not contain space. Right? There's a problem there. But at the very least, that's better. Okay, let's do selection now. Oopsies. I don't want this. I do 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 want this. Better text box. Okay. We can clean it up later. So, selection. Selection, selection, selection. I guess we are probably going to hold some sort of selection state. I don't really know what this is going to look like yet. But presumably, he is going to have left and right. Right? And probably there's going to be like, I don't know yet. We're going to probably assume that like if left equals right, then there is no selection. So probably what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get like the selection bounds in pixel space, right? And if there is a selection, maybe we just want to render like a blue box there for a second. And we can kind of figure out how to render the text a little nicer after. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll say like selection bounds. So they will say that these are like character positions. I guess technically you could store this in pixel positions. And I think that that would not be any more expensive, but it would make the next part of getting the selection bounds when we need them easier, right? Because like when we hit test the characters, we already know their bounds. So we can just write those down. So let's do left pixel and right pixel. Now, if we ever like upgrade to like multi-line selection, this idea doesn't work anymore. But for now, we don't have that, so we don't have to worry about it. We can tackle that when we get there. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll say if there is selection bounds. I guess we could do this. Fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. Okay. And I guess let's start by just trying to render this thing. So if we do on update, let's say, let's just, or on, I guess, on render. Sorry, I'm just thinking. Relative to the left edge of the widget. Of the text, maybe. Oh yeah, this is annoying. Because the text is gonna move as the cursor moves, like, as the text is sliding through this thing, you know what I mean? Like, the selection should probably stay fixed to which characters were selected. Now, obviously, like, as you're typing, you're probably clearing the selection anyways. But if I were to, like, start clicking here and then dragging to the left, right, I would want to mark the right edge of this thing in character position, not pixel position, right? Because this character, as I slide to the left, this whole text will move with the selection. And then the selection position is moving as well. So I think we go back to storing this in terms of like indexes into the glyph list. Yeah. So we'll do that. And then I guess like on render, we're going to like, if like we're gonna get the selection state. And do we have a like box renderer that can render any color in any area? So all we have to do is define the area, I guess. So what is this? I guess that's what we're gonna do. So Let's think. Left pixel. I guess it's like very similar to what we have here, right? Where we have text left, which we have already. Plus the selection left. There we go. Yeah. I guess we want like left glyph. And we'll say this is left is inclusive, probably. So we're looking at the left edge of the left glyph and the left edge of the right glyph. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So we'll say like if maybe the selection left is equal to the selection right. We break. Nothing to do here. Otherwise, we say, let's get the label, the glyph bounds of the left index, and then right glyph is actually going to be right index -1 because we want to do the right edge of something, but this is like a non-inclusive range. So we do -1 here to say like, if we were rendering from like character 0 to 1, we would actually want the selection of the left edge of 0 to the right edge of 0, not the left edge of 0 to the left edge of 1, because 1 might not exist if you only have one character. You know what I mean? So let's do this. Then I guess our bounds are what? How did we do text pixel bounds here? Is the top and bottom. I guess we take the text pixel bounds. Maybe, and we use those. But we just say like the like selection bounds is text bounds, maybe. And then we just clamp the left and right. So we're like looking at the left glyph plus text left. Yeah, and then the right is the right glyph. X2. So the right side of the right glyph, left side of the left glyph, offset by this thing. And then we should just be able to like rip a fucking, draw me some fucking blue. Right? RGB. What unit is this? Is this U8? I assume so. And then we're looking for the transform for this thing to get it into the right spot. So we're saying we have selection bounds to window bounds, I guess. And we use that for this, I guess. I don't know, man. Oh, we need to define a selection. So let's say on click, maybe we set the selection somewhere. Okay. Okay, that's promising. Wait, that's really promising. Really promising. Really promising. Side note also that this box is tracing the character correctly. So it's possible that our cursor rendering is actually bugged more than the actual glyph bounds. You know what I mean? Okay, cool. Cool. So for now, when you select text in like Firefox, what the fuck happens? Does the like color of the text change? No, right? That's the same color inside and out. I think it is. I think it is. So I think that they're just rendering like a selection behind. So all we have to do, I guess, is just render this first before we render the text. Okay. Nice. I mean, that doesn't look bad, to be honest. Now all we have to do is, depends on the color of the highlighter and text selection. Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. But I think for us, since we kind of know the colors, we don't have to worry about it. Okay. So all we have to do is just when we drag now, we need to adjust the right edge, right? So we do the same thing, but I guess we're like, if the mouse was pressed in our box, maybe? Or I guess like technically the widget can move as things happen. So I think that we might want to like keep a state machine inside our widget. I'm just guessing. Dragging or none. So I guess this is just an enum. But I guess dragging, do we need to write down where we started? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think we can just resolve it every frame. So here we say like, if state is dragging, we want to check again for a text hit. So maybe this kind of gets done I guess on release, we say we're fucking donezo. What does he like here? Oh, equals. We probably want like when the mouse is pressed in the box, we say self state is dragging. We must set the left edge. Right? So like this selection state we did is actually reasonable. Maybe not. I think we set them both to the same thing, because like just by clicking on something doesn't mean you're selecting, right? You only start selecting once the drag starts. So like once you have dragged over one cursor length or one character length, that's probably where you start caring. This is also kind of weird because like if I see the letter A, how do you draw an A like this? Right? If I click here, like, and then start dragging to the right, where do I want the selection to start? I guess it depends, right? If I click here and start dragging left, I kind of don't want to include the A in the selection, right? But if I click here and drag left, I do want the A to be included in the selection. But if I click here and drag right, I do not want the A included in the selection, right? So knowing like where within the fucking character I clicked seems relevant in some way. I guess we could say that we log the center of the thing we clicked. What did we make cursor text hit return again? This just tells us if we clicked within a character. This just tells us like, yeah, this tells us the bounds of the character we clicked on and whether or not we clicked in one. Then for the selection state, I guess we want to log which side we started the selection on. I think that's the only thing that makes sense. Or, hold on. So here, in this scenario where we clicked on the right side, how the fuck do I erase in this fucking app here? I guess it kind of makes sense for right to be I was gonna say like we might be able to like intelligently select the left and right indexes such that like they repair themselves when I start dragging to the right, right? So like make it so that right is on the left side and left is on the right side, or something like that. I'm not really sure there, but then like I guarantee there's something about if I start moving to the right and then move back to the left, you definitely have to track the start position. The start position is independent of the selection almost. That's kind of how I feel. So this is like the actual active selection, but then we have the like start position. Yeah. And it's almost like we want to hold on to the idea of like side is left or right. You know what I mean? I feel like this is relevant. I feel like it's relevant. And then maybe by default, we just set it to like it doesn't really matter because this is only ever going to be looked at once we're already in a selection, I feel like. What's he missing? State. I've seen selection structs that keep an associativity, your side field. That makes sense. I mean, I don't see how else you would do what makes sense. I don't see it, right? So when we click on this thing, I guess we log the selection start, but we do not actually set the selection yet. We might clear it, but I believe here we can kind of do this based off of we can actually side is I almost want to pull this out. Because then we can kind of determine this once. We were actually kind of already doing this, right? We were doing like this guy is basically saying like car side is car side right left here. And then we say hit switch car side right and left. Yep. There we go. There we go. And then we have the car side here. Okay. So that's something. And then as we are dragging, we are probably trying to set the selection state. So we're doing this like hit test again. I guess technically if we do this check first, then the dragging state will be, like, won't be modified yet. So we can kind of do this. And what are we doing here? It's like, if, like, mouse X pause, I guess we want to get, like, the start position from the selection. So we're, like, looking at text left is text left. I don't know. We're really just kind of throwing shit around. So here we have the index. Here we're looking at the, like, label glyph locations. Get this. We're probably comparing. I guess, do we take the center of this character? I'm not sure. It depends on if we're going left or right, I guess. Is that what we're trying to determine? I feel like that's what we're trying to determine, right? We're trying to determine which side of the selection to modify. So, like, we've stored that we have, like, A, B, C. We've stored that we've selected this character on some side. So I guess we now have a mouse position that's, like, anywhere arbitrarily on this axis. So we must have to do something like, I guess, check which character we have hit. Yes, yeah. So we have this hit, and we say, if we hit a character over here, we now have everything that we need to set the selection state. And if we hit a character over here, we do as well. We just have to do, it just depends. Yeah. So it's like, if we are left, if hit right is less than start, pause, fuck. I think we might not need this text left thing. We might not. Because we might be able to just be like, glyph locations, get, hit, index. Cool. These are both in label space. Start, pause, label space, we'll call it. And hit label space. If hit label space right side is less than start, pause, label space left side, or even just left is, we can just do maybe both on left, right? Yep. Else if right is greater than right, maybe. I don't know. Then we do something. Why do you need to store these ordered? Why can't end be less than start? Just sort them before painting? Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I agree with that, huh? Like, why am I storing, like, in my head, left and right seemed relevant. But you are kind of making me think that you just know, like, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I can get behind that. I can get behind that. So this is just more like start. And even here, like, we can actually have, like, you can just have start as an item and end as an item. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Okay. So then what? So on render, we can say if, I guess A is self selection start index. I almost want this guy to return like a range. Because he's going to depend on the sides of each of these, right? So it's going to be like left is going to be the smaller one of these two. I guess we do this. You like left, var left is self start, right is self end. We say if left index is greater than right index, we swap. Okay, yes. And then we say like if left side is right, left index plus equals 1. And if right side is left, then we subtract 1. Right? Because then we don't want to include it unless we're over halfway through. And then we return left index, right index. That feels kind of right. Okay. So then we just have like car range. And then maybe if left index is less than right index, or I guess the other way around, we don't do this. Then we have left index and right index. That feels kind of right. That feels kind of right. We might be off by 1 somewhere, but otherwise that feels pretty good. And then all we have to do here is on press, we set the selection start. Nice. And presumably we do something very similar on end as well. So this is probably like almost like a 1-for-1 copy paste, right? Yeah, it is. So fix me 1-for-1 copy paste of start handling, I think. Well, let's just kind of see what happens here. All right, he's fucking mad. He's fucking angry. I guess we need to check bounds here as well because of the movement. Or left index is greater than equal self label implications len. Okay. Oh, come the fuck on. Yeah, so there's an off by 1 there. But you can see that the selection is moving according to if I'm on the left or right of the cursor. So I click on the left side of A should be included. If I click on the right side of A is not included. That's really good. That's really good. So now all we have to do is fix, we have to fix that if I select 1 character, it needs to be included. Oops, I didn't mean to fucking do that. Okay, so yeah, why is that happening? Can we just print left and right here? We can get some intuition. Okay, interesting. Search glyph lock 345. this index may be out of bounds. I guess we'll just break out of that. I don't think that should happen, but like whatever. Okay, so here I'm clicking on the D. I've made it to the F. So here we're starting with 5 to 4. Okay, let's start on character 0 so that I can like think about this a little bit harder. So here we're 0 to 0, 0 to 1. 1 is including right side of character 1, which is a problem, I think. I guess 0 to 0 is valid in this world, is the problem. Because we are using the right side of right. No, something's wrong still. Something's wrong. Clonky boy, what's up, what's up, what's up? Yeah, so 1 is that my initial state is bad, right? Because we're 0 to 0, but we can fix that by just making the start position like this or something. The sort needs to include the side. When we do the character range, we need to sort according to if left index is equal to right index, we need to say if left side is equal to right and right side is equal to left, we need to swap as well or something. I'm not sure. It just kind of feels that way. I don't know. That's my guess. Then now we need to check, like, you know, if like left index is equal to right index, we have no selection if the sides are not the same. You know what I mean? Like it's something like that. Like you have to select over the range of a character. You need to transition from the left side to the right side for it to count. This is awful, by the way. Like, fix me. Surely mathematically we can do something more elegant, right? I'm just trying to like understand the behavior first before we like fully commit. So if left side is equal to right side, return null. This thing is optional. And we're expecting now, when we use this thing, to use the right side of the second one and the left side of the first one. And if they're the same, that's still okay. Yes. Okay. Now, else break, block. Okay. This can't happen anymore, this left greater than right index. That's impossible. But this can happen. So we should be checking right index probably, because it's guaranteed to be higher. Yeah, okay. How's that feel? I feel like that might do everything we want. Yeah, that feels about right? So I like click down on the right side of the D, drag here, drag to the left, that's selected. However, this is still not working correctly. What is this? What is our log saying? So I click on the left side of the D. So this is 0, 1, 2. So the fact that left is 3 there is a little concerning. maybe this left and right adjustment isn't correct anymore. Maybe left index, only right index needs to be moved down. Maybe that doesn't have to happen either. What happens if we just don't do this? Why were we doing this in the first place? I don't remember. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? So when we do a hit test. Oh, also, why the fuck is this? Shouldn't be changing cursor pause, should it? I guess it should. So we hit test the cursor. We're fairly confident the hit testing is working, right? And we just give him the hit. We just say start and end. So I feel like, can we log the state of the selection as well? I just want to make sure that like this looks right. And then we can kind of be sure that the, oh my God. Okay. So I hold the S on the left. I drag over, that's fine. I hold the S on the right, drag over. So we start index 1 right, end index 2 left. Then we end index 2 right. I feel like the S shouldn't be included in the selection. Right? That's the bug here, is that most unit testable scenario other, I expect this hustle of printfing. Well, how do I say this? I think unit testing is for when you know what you expect. I don't know. I don't even know what I want to happen yet. You know what I mean? So I'm just kind of like printing until we figure out. Then we can test later. You've forever ruined what the fuck is going on for me, by the way. Dude, that video has always cracked me up and always will. Even though I think it is wrong for it to do so. What the fuck is going on? Yeah, there's something here where I think it's like in this guy. Oh wait. This seems good. So if left side is right, we should increment by 1. And if right side is left, it doesn't count. Wait, that seems right. So then why did we undo that change? So I'm holding D on the right side, or I'm holding S on the right side. Drag to D on the left should not count. But when I get to D on the right, this should contain something. Right, so should our range not be 2 to 2? Right now, we should have. Yeah, that's what I'm missing here. Is it this? Yeah. So here we're going 2 to 2. This is our range now when we hold S on right, D on right. We're at this point we have index 2 to index 2, but they're both the sides are the same. So this null check is wrong. Does this have to happen? Why was that null check there? I guess we might want to do this before we do the bounds adjustment, like here, or the range adjustment here, maybe? Okay. I think all of that feels good, right? So one character left to right, one character, whoa, left to right. The selection state isn't getting cleared correctly every time, it feels like. Left to right, right to left. What? Yeah, why is that happening, right? I dragged over here. Yeah, there's something. I think that it's that when I reset, when I release the cursor, I think that it is not always saying that we are not like where it's not updating the state correctly. Maybe this has to be the literal first thing that happens. No, that's still wrong, right? So I click, drag here, release, click over here, drag again, and it's not resetting start. Because here we need to clear, maybe here we need to clear the selection too? Yeah, I think it's something like that where the start needs to be set. It's almost like the start position of the selection needs to be optional. Or this whole selection needs to be optional. Right? So like normally this thing is not there. And only when I click in bounds of valid text does it become fair to use. You know what I mean? So maybe it's like, selection is self-selection or else break block. Then we use that selection here. Cool. And then on input, and then I think the dragging state is kind of an implicitly part of the selection state. So it's like if self-selection now, then we set the end position. Well, the cursor position should be updated if we're dragging, but like we're only dragging. Yeah, this is like maybe this should be done whether or not we are selecting. Like if we click outside the box and drag in, should the cursor position update? No. Is there any situation where the cursor position should update and we're not selecting the text? I think no. So I'm like, no, I think probably not. But maybe. Maybe. Okay. So then here, we don't ever have to set dragging as like self-state. We do have to say self-selection. Oh, fuck me, dude. No, I'm back to thinking that you do need a separate state because you might have a valid selection, but you should not update the selection if you are not already dragging. You know what I mean? Like if I click and drag, release, right? The selection is still there, but I should not update that selection. If I click again, that's a new selection. You know what I mean? So then what am I doing wrong? Let's go back then. I kind of want to go back all the way. How does it work here? If I click here and then click here, I can click outside the bounds of the widget and the selection stays. But if I click down here, for some reason that clears the selection. So it's like if you click on another, I have no idea what the rules are here. I think it would be reasonable behavior if anytime I click outside the box, the selection gets cleared. That's how I feel like I would expect it to work. This is strange to me, right? Because like, it's like Firefox has some sort of like selectable widget API, like a focusable widget, right? Where I don't have that concept, right? So if I like hit tab here, then the selection dies. But if that thing can stay focused when I click on something else, then it stays selected. But because the web page is a focusable element, then it clears the selection on the URL or something like that. For now, I'm just going to say if I click outside the box, I expect the selection to be cleared. So can we do this? Focus is important. Yeah, I agree, but I don't have it yet. Or I kind of do, but it's like broken. So that will be something that I add later, but it's just not something that I have now, so I don't have to worry about it. That's kind of what I'm trying to say more. You surely do not want selections and 2 inputs at the same time. Yeah, I agree. I agree. So for now, I'm just going to say if you click anywhere but inside the widget, the selection gets cleared. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Okay. Okay, so we initialize this with empty now. Hello, hello! Welcome, Raiders. What's up, what's up? We're working on our text widget. Thank you, Headless Headhunter, for the raid. We are adding selection to our text box widget. That's what we're doing. We were getting pretty close. We're getting pretty close. Okay, so when I click, if I click outside, we reset this to empty. Okay, otherwise, we set the start, okay. And I guess we should probably set the end as well to the same thing. Okay, click, drag, click. We also need to clear it if we don't hit. Yeah, there we go. Arguably, too, if we don't hit, we should determine whether or not we're trying to get the text at the beginning or the end. Right, the cursor's not jumping to the end when I click out here, which it should. Which is a little annoying. So I guess... you want to do, like, if mouse xpos is greater than right side, etc. What about when the mouse is outside of the input while still draining? I think that works. Yeah, so here, hold on. Let's make the text kind of like drag. It goes off to the right now. It's like invisible, but it's out there. If you look at the indexes in the bottom. Oh my God. Holy shit. That's fully accidental, but we did kind of accidentally implement off-screen dragging, because as we drag, the cursor is moving to that position now, and then the box resizes to try to get the cursor in. So it's like hard to control, but it does actually accidentally work, which is funny. We need to implement some sort of like damping there, right? Like speed of cursor refocus, we can call it, needs to be animated, we can say, right? Like, it shouldn't instantly put the cursor within the bounds of the box. It needs time to slide it over. Or I mean, the other option here is limit how far per time we can move the cursor forward. Right? So can you select the whole by dragging top to bottom? Probably not. No, this is only horizontal right now. Okay. So multiple bugs here now, right? If I hit backspace now, the selection is not correctly adjusted, but also hitting back, like, any text entry when the selection is active should just replace the text. So I think maybe that's the last thing we do here. before we call it for today. So I think we say if can we, yeah, if self-selection car range. There's also shift arrow left right. Yeah, which I think should be like relatively easy to implement. Relatively. I think we just do like ordered remove many. No. Can we? Is there no like API on the array list to like shift left mem move like mem copy like any? There's ordered remove one, but that's not really what I want. Append, clear, pop, resize, shrink, replace range feels like it's maybe what we want. So we know that we're shrinking, so we can call bounded. We have R0 as the first character we're removing, down to R1 minus R0, right? Plus 1, I think, because this range is inclusive. I think. New items, empty. Order to remove everybody. That was close. But if this thing has index list that you want to pass in, which isn't really what I want, I don't think. Right, like this I would have to make an array that has each index that I want to remove versus just being like, let me like rip this range out. And then this is true for backspace as well. And then this is the other case. And then same for delete. We do the old behavior if this was true. And then obviously fix me duplication on these guys. All right, does that do what I want? D. Close, we have to clear the selection after. I think. Okay. D. What's he mad about? Start index 7 is larger than end index 5. So this is happening on text insert. Oh, because the position, the position that we're inserting at needs to change because we've removed it. Self cursor pause needs to be updated to the beginning of the range, I think. Well, it depends on if the cursor is on the left side or the right side of the range, right? So we can hopefully the cursor is on one end of the range. It should be. So, but like, I guess maybe it's easier if we don't assume that. So if self cursor pause is greater than R0, the left end of the range, he gets set to the right side. Hold on, I need to draw it. I'm too stupid. So cursor is, his index is the left side. So if we have index 0, it's here. And if we have index length of text, it's here. So it's always on the left. Should there be an ASCII chart here? No, because we're inserting it down here. Future cleanup. Cursor is just a length 0 selection, so it doesn't need to be tracked separately. That's true. That's true. I'll give you that. Cursor is a 0 length selection. Smile. We don't need this. I agree. But for now. So the cursor is on the left edge, which means that no matter where it is on the selection, it just gets set to R0, I think. Right? Because if we remove all of this, its new position is here. No matter what. No matter what. Yeah. Let's try that. Oh, beautiful. Select, hit G. Select, backspace. What's happening now? That's a bug. The bug, I mean, it updated this state, but it didn't emit the event. That's not funny. Oh. This change flag needs to always trigger, no matter which state we were in. Boom. Backspace. Delete. Oh. Okay. What just happened there? I pressed delete when there was no selection, I thought. How the fuck did I get to that state? Ah, okay, I found it. If I click on the right side of a D, drag to the left side of the F, then press delete, the app crashes. Which is interesting, because I would think that should return null here, but this is now returning true. Interesting. Interesting. Just check if there's range bigger than 0. Well, I think that character range thing shouldn't be returning anything in that case. So we're seeing... Oh. Okay. If left index is greater than right index, return null. Okay, so now we do the same thing. Click here, drag to the left side of the F, hit delete. Now we're happy. Very nice. Oh, there's a bug in here somewhere as well. There's a bug here where if I click outside of the range and then drag in, it always sets the initial state to 0. Right? So if the cursor's here, I would expect that if I drag in, it would start from where the cursor was, but it started from 0. So if we start a drag, if we click, but we don't hit this thing, the selection state should actually be index is where the cursor is, and side is left. I think. Hello? Okay, so now I click here. I guess the bug was when we had like out of range selection. So now I drag and that feels a lot better now. Yeah. I mean, it's not perfect still, but that is a lot better. Okay, fuck it. I can't help myself. We need Control A. Shift navigation I can live without, but we need Control A because I use that all the time. So where do we find that? I think that might actually be bugged. Because I think that the character callback, we just hard code control to false. So there's a bug here where we can't even detect Control A right now, the current API. So we'll do that. I'll do that later. But like maybe tomorrow we make a couple more improvements. It depends on if there's enough stuff to do. But yeah, this needs to get done. Our input handling, the fact that we're trying to mix the character and key style callbacks, there's a bug somewhere in here where like we want the character mapping stuff that GFW is doing if we are in an input box, but we also want the key callback API, I think. So I need to figure out how to structure that. But anyways, for now, this is a huge improvement. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. Delete it all. Get the fuck out of here. Write something big. Boom. Delete it all. Wowzer. Yeah. Big win. I think we call it there. It's been 2 hours. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you saw, we stream most days, 12:30 Pacific time is when we start. We try to go for like, 2 or more hours. Depends on if we are doing like some cleanup stuff or not. Some of this stuff goes on the main YouTube, like this video. Some of them do not. It really depends on if I have something that I think is like a structured thing to give us, right? Like today we have fix the text box widget, right? Very like clear title, clear like course of action, new features. But sometimes if we're doing things like unit testing other code, doing like cleanup, maybe kind of just exploring a concept, reading like RFCs but not really implementing them, bug fixes, like a lot of that stuff doesn't really like belong here. That stuff kind of ends up on Patreon or under like YouTube members or Twitch VODs. If you pay in the appropriate place, you get the VODs, or you can catch it live. And if you do that, you help the stream survive. Live for longer, because one day I'll run out of money and I'll have to get a job. But until then, we do this. So thanks for watching. YouTube, peace. Twitch, let's find someone to raid.